I recently picked up a DJI Air 2S drone in order to help shoot a few shots for a Stargate fan film. I'll discuss which shots I purchased it for in another video, but I researched a lot of different drones and settled with this one when I saw a used drone from Amazon for only $750, and it included the Fly More combo. It was a no-brainer. The drone arrived in absolute perfect condition. Everything was put in little tiny plastic baggies instead of perfectly wrapped in a DJI container, but who cares? It was all going to be thrown away anyways. Okay. This is not a drone channel, really, but drones are definitely a part of filming now. So let's learn a few drone filming lessons focused on the Air 2S with some crazy shots I took this past week in the surprisingly beautiful area of Twin Falls, Idaho, which contains the only bridge in the country where you can base jump without a permit. Number 1. Buy stronger ND filters even if you purchase the Fly More combo. The Fly More combo comes with 4 ND filters, cutting a maximum number of light up to 5 stops. This shot was about 2 hours north of Twin Falls in the Sawtooth National Forest. It was so bright that the 32 ND filters still left my shot overexposed. To try to save the shots that day, I sped up my shutter to 1/2000 to compensate. This essentially cut the light by another 5 stops. I recently ordered the K&F variable ND filters, so I'll let you know if those worked out. I'm hoping they speed up the workflow because I shouldn't have to keep popping on and off the filters between shots. Number 2, protect your camera lens and drone and get a landing pad. Just spend the $20 to purchase a landing pad. It will protect the lens from dust or other objects under the drone when taking off or landing. Just watch how much dust flies up when I take off. Yes, the drone is going into the air, but the air is still flying faster than the drone on the ground, so it could easily bounce debris into the vehicle. It's not foolproof, but it will definitely add a layer of protection from items bouncing around under the vehicle when taking off or landing. Number 3. Don't waste your time using your phone to fly the drone. Just buy the DJI RC Controller. All links are in the description to the specific items I purchased if you're curious. The RC controller is worth every single penny. The second time I flew my drone, it was only 70 degrees outside and my phone screen still overheated. This darkened the screen and really freaked me out because I was just learning how to fly at that point. Even after adjusting every setting that I could find on my phone, it was still almost unusable. Yes, it is true that the remote comes with the Air 2S as a stronger signal than the RC controller because it has 4 antennas. But I don't care because I'm not flying miles away. Most of my flying is going to be within a mile. Also, don't waste your time buying the Air 2S Smart Controller bundle, since the old Smart Controller only has OcuSync 2, whereas the RC controller has OcuSync 3, which helps your video. If you can afford the Smart Pro controller, then that's definitely the best one. The other 2 add-ons I recommend for this remote are the sunshade and a lanyard. Since the brightness is not as good as its $1,000 counterpart, just spend another $20 on a sunshade to keep the sun off the screen. Here's the one I got, and I love it. It magnetically snaps together, clicks onto the remote, and helps the screen visibility a lot. And it fits nicely into the carrying case for my landing pad. This is the lanyard I purchased, and it was only $17. The lanyard came with the 2 screws that mount to the RC controller and helps you keep the remote more available at all times. By hanging the remote around your neck, you never set the remote down to accidentally step on it or misplace it while flying. If you do put it down, it's always in the same place and readily available during the flight. Number 4, film and D-log. Filming in D-log adds more dynamic range to your shots. I couldn't find a chart that explains how much more dynamic range, but it does flatten the profile, so it is truly helping you capture a larger spectrum of lights and darks. It is true that you're forced to color grade the footage now, but that's the fun part. Usually. DaVinci Resolve had a few LUTs that were installed for D-log, but I was confused about which one to use initially. The ones installed were only for the old Phantom and the X5 or X7 cameras, which were available on the Inspire 2. So I visited DJI's website for the Air 2S in their download section, scrolled down and saw a LUT to download. Great, this should be perfect Rec 709 conversion. But after installing it, the LUT still looked a little flat, so I dug around to try to understand more about D-Log M file versus the original D-Log profile, and I couldn't find anything beyond this basic explanation from Engadget when talking about the Mavic 3. D-Log M is designated to deliver natural color gradations with delicate details even in high contrast situations like sunsets, the company says. At the same time, it's easier to grade than typical log footage, according to DJI. So we learned nothing about the true differences between their log profiles. But I'll share what I discovered when experimenting with all of the DJI factory LUTs I could find. I downloaded more from their website. All the links are in the description. And then I tried every single one to see what they did to the image. In short, my personal favorite was their X5 D-Log file that was already in DaVinci. The first image is the D-Log file with no LUT and looks fairly flat on the waveform. Now let's select the Air 2S D-Log M to Rec 709 file that you downloaded from the website, and it's a little bit better. But now look at the X5 LUT. It looks so much better. Look how much more full the picture is. And for a final comparison, let's compare the X7 to 709 LUT, which really blows out the highlights. I'm not a fan of the X7. During the research, I discovered some very interesting similarities between the X5 and Air 2S sensor that may or may not have any direct correlation, but let's take a peek. The X5 is a micro four thirds sensor, while the Air 2S is a 1-inch sensor, not truly 1-inch in measurement, however. The Zenmuse X5 is double the sensor size of the Air 2S 1-inch sensor. The X5 has a dynamic range of 12.8, while the Air 2S is 12.6. The X5 is a 20 megapixel, just like the Air 2S is a 20 megapixel. The X5 films in 5.2K, while the Air 2S films in 5.4K. Again, I don't know that these similarities are enough to create justification for a LUT that coincidentally helps the Air 2S D-Log footage look fantastic, but it's interesting regardless. Okay, on to the next one. Number 5, double check all of your settings before you take off every single time. Sometimes I would take off and realize that my camera settings were in the wrong mode. These shots were taken in 1080p at 60 frames per second. I was so worried about my flight settings for this flight that I forgot to check the camera settings. It was a healthy priority, but ruined a bunch of great shots, sadly. Usually when we fire up the drone and hear the fan kick on, there's almost a sense of immediacy to get into the air before the battery dies. Just let the drone make some noise, but take your time and double check all of your drone and camera settings before takeoff. Number 6, experiment with each tracking mode. We found an open area and tried each one of the tracking modes. Sadly for the DJI Air 2S, you must be in 4K or below in order to have the option to turn on subject scanning. If you select 5.4K, like here, you'll notice that the tracking option is blanked out in the control page. So make sure to select 4K, then turn on subject scanning. One of the most amazing tracking features is parallel. You can just set it and walk. Can you guess one future shot for the short film that will be used? And finally, number 7, never fly beyond what you are comfortable with. Each one of these shots brought a new challenge, but I didn't keep flying beyond where I was comfortable. I slowly introduced new challenges one at a time. Even though I know the capabilities are beyond what I'm doing, it's more important that I learn how to safely operate the vehicle instead of adding unnecessary risk. Just take your time, have fun, and slowly and incrementally add on new challenges each flight. Drone footage definitely creates a lot of opportunity to take expensive looking shots for a film. Even Netflix allows 10% of non-certified camera footage in their films, which sounds like a very reasonable percentage because establishing shots shouldn't be the majority of the film anyways. There are some more expensive shots I'm going to talk about next time that require a little bit of practice. Still practicing myself. In fact, here's one of them. So far, I'm confident that I'm going to get the shots that I want for the Stargate fan film from just a $1,000 drone setup. It's fantastic. And some of you may have seen it by now, but Joshio and I did some tests with his new amazing DJI Inspire 3 drone on his video that was released last week.
Maybe we could take the van.
All right, I guess we'll do the car.
This is Charles. He's my new BFF. How fast does this car go?
185.
Okay, we top out at 58 miles an hour. I forget the 107 rule, but as long as it's sparsely populated, which we clearly are, you can sit passenger and fly it safe.
So make sure to support his channel and keep watching to see what ridiculousness he gets into next. Also, I'm sure there are some great experienced drone pilots who watch this video to see if any of my points made sense. So please share your thoughts in the comments below, It'll help make all of us better pilots and cinematographers in the end. Please support the channel by liking and subscribing to get more content like this. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next time.